All right, so we've got a bad nose here, look. So we're going to replace it. With this new nose here. Put the new one on. All right, let's get on to it. Get it done. There's nothing wrong with that nose. All right, guys, check it out. So we got done here so far. So some of the stuff you guys have been watching, I'll tell you what we're doing here. So we got this thing here. It's got a lot of spot welds in it. They're really tough to get off. And to get one of those little finger sanders in there to grind that off, it's just not enough space to be able to see where the spot welds are. So I think what I'm going to do, I mean, I could just take it like this and then try and grind them. You grind it now and then find them and then drill them. That ain't happening. So I'm just going to, that'll take me way too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut all this off. I'll see if I can peel it a little bit, but I don't know if that's going to work because I've been peeling this and it's just taking forever. So I might just cut it off and grind it down flat, and then, you know, we're not doing like a full restoration nose job on this thing. Just trying to get it to have one that doesn't have giant Bondo stuff in it. So yeah, we could do that. I mean, look at this is hit here. You really can't see that from the inside. I don't know if I'm going to fix it or not. This is bent, that thing's bent, and this thing was hit pretty hard. Should have had a nose replaced when the accident happened, and then all the inner panels if you're fixing it right. But you know, like I said, those are things you really can't see when you're in the vehicle. So it just depends on how today's world on body shop, you'd fix all that would have to be fixed. Back in the old days, they just band-aid stuff up and made it work, you know. Yeah, that's why cars and bodywork are so much more expensive than they used to be. Another thing we ran into here is I see that is not supposed to be there. That's a dent. So it was hit here and then probably bondoed up. So I've got to get that shape back, because look at the other side. You can see the new nose is not going to fit with that out of shape there. We got to get it to look more like this. If you notice, all the spot welds, I just tore them. I just tore the metal off. Drilling them out is, you know, it's up to you if you want to do all that. It takes a lot longer. And then I'll just hammer this a little bit straight and then pinch weld it back together, or pinch and spot weld it, whatever I'm going to do, and it'll look great. Don't need to spend that kind of time drilling everything, because a lot of times what happens is you drill all the way through. And you drill all the way through, then it's more work. And then you got to weld all that up, and you got a big mountain of weld on the other side to fix. So it's much easier if you stick with simple stuff to do it. If I can get my pinch welder in there, I'm going to use that. I don't know if I can. I don't think I can. On the bottom edge, I'll use the pinch welder. So you can see right here, all this is rotten. So you got to make a decision. Are you going to replace this inner panel, which is connected to this? Okay, that means you have to draw all the spot welds there and put the inner panel in, then put the outer panel over that, which is this piece, and then replace that. Again, we're not going there. We want to make it strong, we want to make it sturdy. There's the frame head right here. That's why it's got the double thick. So I don't know what I'm going to do there, but I think what I'm going to do on the rest of this is just make a piece from here to this, where it goes down right here, and just make an L metal piece for this bottom edge, and then just weld that in. It's only an inner panel that holds the other panel on, so it's nothing cosmetic. You can see from the outside, it could be seam sealed over, and that, yeah, that'll be fine. Is it going to look exactly original when you go underneath it? If somebody's looking that close, they're looking too close to me. You know, that's fine. That's a valid repair. So this same thing I'm going to have to do, make this piece. So I'll make this one, then I'll figure out, you know, this one here, how to make that. I may just make this whole piece here. I'm not gonna get this bend exactly the same. I don't care. It doesn't matter if you can't see that. And that's behind here. So it just needs to support this piece. So I'll probably make it go down, bend it in a little bit, and then bend it out. Something like that. You'll see later. Let's probably do that. I don't know. I'll call them and see how much. I'll see how much these parts are. If they're not expensive, maybe just buy them. But installing this with the floors in, this piece, because front floors are in pretty good shape, I think. Yeah, they look pretty good. It is just a little rusty in the corners and stuff. Yeah, it's been patched up a bit. Like I said, we're not restoring the whole thing. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. There's a little bit of crusties on the bottom. Like I said, it's pretty solid, so he's not going to want to do that. It's just something he's fixing to sell, and the nose just looked horrible. It was on here, and you can't just grind that off and rebondo it. I mean, you got rust holes in it. You got, you know, that much bondo, and it need to be replaced. There's no way around that. So the other stuff, the inner panels, we're just going to kind of fix them so they'll hold the new panel. I'll show you later in the video how to do that. And then this here, we're just going to cut this back flat. You can see the new nose has that lip on it right here. So all we need to do is cut that back. And then I may end up doing, I haven't decided yet. I'll decide once I get it set on there. I could even do grind this down and put panel adhesive. There's no way to clamp that in place, but I could put a couple sheet metal screws in it, and that would be fine. Pull the sheet metal screw out, put a little bit of J&B weld over the holes, just so that it doesn't leak in there. That way it'll be rust free. It won't rust in that area, because a lot of times water wants to coagulate in that area where the vent comes in. If you live in an area where you've got high levels of moisture, that might be an issue. So if you panel adhesive that in, it's going to eliminate that. Same thing with these, probably will get panel adhesive, but the bottom is going to get welded and the top is going to get welded. Got to have a combination of both, and this is a crash area, so we don't want it to fail if somebody hits it, right? And panel adhesive on that will actually hold stronger than these spot welds when it hits here, because it'll be continuous all the way around, so that'll work. Where panel adhesive fails is on a shear, okay? If it's something that when it can shear loose, like it can catch it by the side, like if you had this piece panel adhesive on and you took a hammer and chisel and you went this way, it can fail that way. But if you hit it that way, it won't fail. So we're gonna do it the right way, whatever that is. So anyway, we'll continue on. Right, so to bend the bottom edge, I just put it in the vise. I can't really film back there right now. There's no, and I just did 4 inches at a time and got the bottom edge. So I'll have a weld edge. That's all I'm worried about. It's something that's not rusted out, so not like that.
Man, that sucked.
I actually forgot to, I was going to use the shrinker and make it go this way, but it's just a little bit of curve, and that's all behind the bumper, so if it's got a little flat spot in it, nobody's gonna know except you guys. Well, weld that sucker in. I'm just gonna kind of fake it in. We'll take a look later. That's the grade I got, F. Oh well, it'll work. I mean, look how bad this nose was. It had all these holes they drilled in it to try and fix it. Just rippled metal. This thing was hit really hard in the front. There was no fixing something like that. You could, I mean, get it better than they did, but it wasn't worth it. It'd be better to just replace it. It's that bad. All right, let's line up this notch. If you can see that, hopefully you're in frame. That with this notch here. I did the other one already. I gotta. This one's got extra holes in it, so I gotta. Knock her down pretty flush, not too tight. Okay. And that should hook on there. It's kind of a little tab there. If it doesn't make it, we can always weld one on after, but we're going to paint this, so I don't know. I'm just going to paint it real quick to get it some color close. So it won't be the same, but it'll be close. So I made this piece off camera here, and man, but it makes it really strong. What a pain though, I'm telling you. And I made this piece right here, which was fun. And it's a little off, as I thought it might be. That's okay, I'll just do like I did right here. Put a little patch in. All it is just a weld edge. So that'll work. Just got to get it in place and weld that thing in. The other side, it's going to just stay just like it is. Wasn't as bad. So I'm just gonna. That one's pretty good metal left. It's kind of pitted, but honestly, this is not a restoration. This is a repair. So it's totally different. All right, so we're setting the nose on. I've got everything behind it. We'll look at that in a second. But it takes two people to really get one of these on here. But you see here where it's got a lip over. The shape of these noses have to be exactly right. And that's why some of them, like I heard the funky green metal ones, don't fit. And, you know, I don't even know if this one's fitting that well or just the body. But you have to lip it over one side, okay, and then hold it in place. And we've already beat on this thing a lot to try and get it to fit. And look, it's still, you know, it may not. If this is a little bit lower, the window's going to still fit and it will still work fine. But if it's too high, that's when you won't get the glass in. So, trying to figure out all the stuff, I might have to take a blade width off of here. I mean, every little bit matters. And then see if you see this right here, this one here is still too far back because whatever was hit, you know, we were looking at that before. You know, so whatever's bent behind has to be straightened near perfect. I mean, or you're never going to get one of these on. So look at how far off this side is. So it needs to come over almost 1/4 of an inch. So yeah, and then this was bent here. So that being bent, this doesn't want to go on there. So these, so the bottom edge was a little off down here. Well, now I've got that beat back. You can see there's some space in there. But if I might be just a hair out over down here. So I'm gonna have to knock that back a little bit because it's up against it. So that would hold it from going this way, right? Because it's hitting down here. So, and then this thing, this lip here along here is a little bit bent. So that's not helping us at all. Like I said, boy, it's tough. So these are really hard to fit, guys. This is not like a split window. They go right on. Those are no big deal. These are, because of the roundness of the whole front, it's way harder. So I'll bring it back in if we see some of the stuff. We're just trying to pre-fit it. And then after that, we'll get it on. I might have to do some fake in. So I might have to grind off some of that on both sides. And then do that. I don't know. Because who knows? I mean, maybe it was hit in the front really hard, and was that lip pushed back? Then if I do that, well, I'm gonna have to get the doors over here. Yeah, it's a fun one. So I don't know how perfect we're gonna get it, but we're just trying to get it to where it's decent to sell. And look at the color right there. It's a little different, but I had to go with, I had this color here matched. Okay, and then I realized that this color is way different. So that's on the outside. They've repainted it. So trying to get it look uniform on the outside. So at least it's got the blue behind it. So anyway, all right, I'll talk to you guys a little later. A lot of things have transpired since you guys saw it last here. And we kind of got a manipulator here using the come along. If you put one of these on, you know, don't figure you're going to get it metal finished perfect and never have any filler in it, because that little area is probably going to have filler along the edge. You know, you only put a nose on one of these buses if the front end's so bad that you can't do anything else. I would not do it for a door ding or anything like that. I mean, I could see somebody like Washburn charging like a couple $1,000s to put one of these on. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it for less than something like that if I was a shop. I mean, you couldn't make any money. But this is really bad right here. So what we're going to do, we're just going to get the porta power out. And here in my old box here. All right, so we had to figure out what to do here. So, I mean, look at how bent all this stuff is from the accident. It was hit everywhere in the front. So I pushed this out with the old porta power here, the old setup here. Got it where it's got a gap still, and there's just no way to get it out further. All right, because it's just, you can't get the leverage in the right place. But this is pretty well lined up. If you see the edge here, it's less than a 16th or less than an eighth. It's between an eighth and a 16th. It lines up right here. It lines up in a couple other places, lines up in the corners. It lines up over here in this corner. And that little bit right there, believe it or not, won't matter, because if it's, let's say it's less than an eighth. If it's an eighth, that means that's a 16th on this side and a 16th on that side. And that's not going to make any difference whether the window goes in or not. So those are things, it's better to be too loose than too tight. So that's the way on windshields. So I have to use these tools to kind of hold it. And then I got it back far enough where I can lip this over. I have to lip it over in a couple places, and then I'll use the skin zipper on that. We'll show you that a little bit later. But this part's lining up good. It's against here, nice and tight. This is a little bit off, and all I got to do is just push it in, and then I'll probably just weld on the very edge here, because this is all covered up. You've got this here, this edge right here, it goes along there, so you really can't see it. Like I said, we're doing a repair. This is not a complete restoration, and even if it was, there's only so much you can do with something like this. So this lines up good, and it's funny because I cut this back a little bit, and now that it's lining up, it's too loose there, but that's okay. You got to do what you got to do on this. You're not going to get one of these to line up perfectly, and once you do one, you'll know what I'm talking about. You just won't. So this side's pretty good too. I'll do the same thing over here. I'll put the porta power on there. But what I have to do now is pull this back off. Then I'm going to use panel adhesive on this section. The reason you use panel adhesive here is because how are you, on this part, on this edge I can weld it. Okay, but back in here, on this, how are you going to grind those welds down? Yeah. So if you try and weld it, spot weld it the way they did, I don't know how they did it. The assembly process was probably all apart or something. Maybe the nose was off and they put that piece on, then they put it together. I don't know. So, and I'll just push this in. So then my plan is this. So I'm thinking about this. What can I do? Okay, when I get these edges here on, okay, once I get these edges on and I have this thing pulled back, then I can take the porta power and push this thing out, and with tension on it, okay, then I'll put this, while the panel adhesive is on here, I'll put some screws in here. Now I'm gonna have a little screw holage to deal with. I'll just fill that with something, doesn't even matter. Could use JNB weld or panel adhesive or whatever, just fill the hole, because you're not going to see it again. And screw here, screw there, put a couple screws here, one over here, and then that will hold it in place, and then until the panel adhesive dries. And then when the panel adhesive dries, if it goes back just a little bit, it'll probably go back, probably want to pull back just a little bit. You're not going to see it with this nose. You just, with being round, you're not going to see that. So we've got to play a couple little tricks here and make it work. All right, so we're going to take this back off and take a look. All right, so we got everything painted behind here, little runs and all that. Who cares? Can't see it. And then these are the panels I made there. I got the center section with panel adhesive. I got this bottom edge ready for welds. I don't know if maybe I should put a couple holes in there. I could use the hole punch, put a couple holes in here if I want, real quick. And then we're going to put the nose on and just start fitting it in. So I'll let you guys hang out for a second. Alright, so I got a little progress done here. So this lines up pretty good. It's a little bit of a gap, but I have to hammer it together tighter. I've got a few welds here off camera, and this is screwed together with panel adhesive. So this part right here has panel adhesive all the way to here, all the way around the top, and all the way together here. And you can't even see I've got this thing jacked out, and then this is screwed to that, so that we'll let the jack the porta power back. It's going to go in just a little bit. You really won't notice it. And look how good this lines up. I'm amazed. I mean, this was definitely tough, and I've got it still held in with these, and they're pretty much lined up. I just have to knock those down and then get the skin zipper out. We'll do that a little bit later. Very well centered. I mean, that lined up good here. I can't believe it. It just, once I started welding the middle in, clamping it, and then getting this part in, everything started to line up together. So it's kind of, you know, I use these here. That's how I figured out where to weld it, right? Where to cut it, right? I use this pattern. So it was pretty accurate. Worked out pretty good. All right. But, you know, there's a little gap. And then right in the middle of all that, my trigger on this machine here, the trigger switch quit. So I'm using, I think these things are like $129. This is this Viver welder, and I had Craig using it. This is Craig's Bus, by the way. And he goes, I never can get the settings right. I go, dude, you got one, you put it 0, and then you just turn this one. There's one knob. This one you put it 0, and you just use one knob, and you just go hotter and colder, adjust it till it's right. So he did a couple of welds in here. He did some of these, that nice button there. He did this one here, nice and flat, came out good. He did that one, it's a little bit mounty, and he was surprised how easy it was to weld with that thing, because it's, you can't really, you know, hotter or colder, you don't have two knobs, there's just one. There's no wire speed and heat, it's just one knob, the automatic wire speed, and it takes gas. This little tiny thing takes gas. It's like 130 bucks. The only problem is the wand's kind of short. Put a link in the description for it. Really, it's the easiest welder. In fact, I'm going to have a video. I want to do a video on how to weld for the first time and use this welder. For a beginner welder, it's the easiest welder to use. So, but it only takes a small spool, a little spool of wire. So it's kind of a drag. You have to change the wire a lot. But it's only 0.030 too, and you can still weld sheet metal with it, though. Yeah, never seen anything like it. All right, guys, there you go. Oh boy, I took the porta power out, even with the screws in here. Eventually, this is going to be dry. I'll wait till tomorrow before I take the screws out, and then just fill the little holes. I got that to do still. I've got to do the I pinch welded the bottom, and I've got to do the this is all right, just needs a little filler there and not much, just the window will fit, I know 100%. Look, see how that's a little tiny bit lower? It's exactly right in the middle, exactly right over here, so we should fit perfectly fine. Not even worried about it at all. This thing was really hard to get on. You had to bend these things out, just so you know. I had to bend these out almost straight and then put the nose on. You couldn't hook one side and then wrap it around and hook the other side. No way. So it had to go on perfectly straight like that. And then I had to ratchet strap it back really tight and then be able to just bend that. And it came out really good. I'm really surprised. Got a few little dents along the edge, so I'm going to grind those down and fill them. Maybe put a little paint on this thing. Just going to paint it, you know, he's going to sell it, you know, so he just didn't want, so that's what our inside looks like. There's our new color. I made it between this and this outside. I don't know, because it's going to fade. This is all faded, so I'm trying to, I don't know, try to make it as close as I can, but faded. And then so I'll just shoot down here, it'd be fine, and shoot the little grill in the front with the same paint. I'm not going to do anything fancy to the paint, believe me. And then yeah, the bottom I'm not doing any filler. I'm only doing the edge, a couple maybe dings in it for moving it around, and sand it down, prime it, paint it. That's it, nothing fancy. So yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to put that in here, but at least you'll be able to, I think I'm just going to leave it like this here, and because it's such a long video already, I don't know how long it's going to be, but this way at least you'll know how to put one on. And then I think what we're going to do is, well, I think we're going to go ahead and continue on this thing just for a little bit here. Maybe we'll put the doors on, buff the paint, okay, then we do a little comet bath, wash it, and see how nice it can look together. I don't know, I'm thinking about that. I don't know, it just takes a bit of time to do, and I've got a lot of stuff going on, so maybe Craig will, I'll get little clips of it while he's doing it. I guess he's got the wheels painted. Oh, they gotta be clean, that's it. It's got good tires on it. Somebody was putting a bunch of money in this. I mean, the motor in this thing, he said had an 8-dowel crank, so it's probably a counterweighted engine. I mean, I'd be surprised it's, you know, I'd be surprised if it's a, you know, 1600. It's probably bigger than that. Might be a 1904 that's in here or something. So yeah, it runs good, starts right up, and it sounded really pretty strong. So he's gonna put the windshield in. So we'll probably, what we'll do is we may just film some of that and put that in a separate video, just putting the window in. I know it's gonna fit. If you might have any questions, I already know it will fit. I've done this enough. I mean, I haven't done a bay window, but I've done enough metalwork, bodywork, and paint to know when the window's going to fit. So anyway, especially when you have a reference point like this line, you know it's going to fit. Yeah. Anyway, all right, that's it, guys. Yeah, I'm pretty amazed. The front end did not go back in when I pulled the porta power out. It did not slide back, didn't move at all. Just the porta power just came loose and it didn't move. So it just needs a little encouragement. You know, the rest of the nose in and the screws in there. And well, I think when I take the screws out, the panel adhesive is going to hold it just fine. So, and like I said, we use panel adhesive because we didn't want to try and grind all those welds on there, and there's no way. So anyway, all right, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and see your comments, and let me know what you think.